So, with the release of Final Shape, Gambit, Vanguard, and Crucible bounties have gone the way of the dinosaur, and with it, we have gotten the Pathfinder ritual system, which is, well, it's something. It's better than nothing, I guess. So if you come with me over to the Vanguard tab in the directory, you're going to find in the bottom left-hand corner this Pathfinder thing. It is a little bit more difficult to find and harder to access from the UI, but I'm sure Bungie will update that eventually. And the problem is, as you can see here, you have a skill tree of objectives that you have to complete, and when you reach the end, you will get some engrams, bright dust, prisms, and some XP as well. The problem is, as you can see, this Pathfinder ritual objective tree requires you to bounce around to a lot of activities, from all of them to just Crucible, to just Strikes, or to just Gambit. And you can see it's kind of frustrating that I have these three here completed, but I have to go to Gambit or Crucible in order to do that. Now, this isn't a problem overall, because this is something that is most likely intended to be completed over the course of a week or even a month. I'm pretty sure you can just continually reset this if you want, and it has a little note here telling you what you can do, and it will actually automatically reset at the end of each week. But the problem is that here we have an entire Pathfinder thing for both Crucible, Gambit, and Vanguard. We go into the Pale Heart, and we also have a Pathfinder node here, but the entire node is filled with Pale Heart only objectives. And this is such a nice thing, because if you're on the Pale Heart, whether you're farming for the new exotic class item after you've completed the mission, maybe you are just doing some overthrow, you're going to get a majority of this stuff done. And for some of them, you do have to go out of your way. Like if I track this one here, I have to go into the Refraction to kill Axul Light's Rebuke, but honestly it's not that bad. Say like you do a overthrow in the landing, you complete it, you got like 3 or 4 minutes before it respawns, so then you go into the Refraction, kill this dude, come back to the landing, or maybe move on to the Blooming or whatever. So Pale Heart is absolutely the best place to go and do this stuff, but the problem with going back to this Vanguard, Crucible, Gambit one here is that it's all of them mixed into one tree, instead of each of them having their individual tree, which I hadn't claimed that one. You're welcome. You can see how much XP I got. It's not that much, but you know, for a full tree, you can get a lot. So yeah, people don't like switching multiple times throughout a session, and you know, people who play a lot will most likely get this entire node done throughout the course of a week. But if you're someone who maybe doesn't have the time to play, you might only be able to get this far in the tree and no further, and that really sucks from a certain perspective, because you're not getting the max rewards that you could be getting. Back when the bounty system was still in place, all you had to do was complete 8 bounties to get, I believe it was a powerful engram as well as some bright dust. 8 bounties only required you to play 2 days out of, 7 weeks, because, there are 4 bounties, and each day those bounties would reset. With this system, it might require a little bit more bouncing around. With Vanguard bounties, you could just do Vanguard strikes, get your bright dust, get your engram, hop off. Same thing for Crucible and Gambit. And really the biggest problem I have here with this system is Gambit. Gambit is a game mode that has gotten such little attention in the past, I don't know, maybe 4 years? I really can't think of the last time Gambit got a meaningful update. In fact, the only thing Bungie has done to Gambit has take stuff away, like Gambit Prime, certain maps, and of course, weapons in general, but most of those are back, so, I don't want this video to come off as too complaining, because yes, we have gotten a lot of things that are fantastic in this expansion. It is by far the best expansion that Bungie has ever released for Destiny anyways. And this is a very small thing, but the whole point of this was that it was marketed as play as you want. And as someone who does not care about Gambit anymore because they don't see, as Bungie just doesn't seem to care about updating it. I don't want to play Gambit. Like, I'd rather stick to Crucible or Vanguard or both. You know, I don't mind either of those things because at least with Crucible we've got new maps. There are some weapons that are worth chasing in there. With Gambit, there's nothing. There's legitimately nothing worthwhile. In fact, Bungie put Gambit engrams in Xur's inventory. You can buy Gambit engrams from Xur. I can't think of another vendor where you can get other engrams, aside from Soraya Hawthorne. She does give you your clan engrams, but that makes sense because a clan member goes and, you know, does Gambit or Crucible, and you get a Gambit or Crucible engram. But the point with Xur is that you're buying Gambit engrams from Xur so that you don't have to play Gambit to get weapons, right? Like, that's crazy to me that they would do that. It's almost like they're saying, yeah, we know Gambit isn't in a good place, so here's some engrams that you can buy if you want weapons, so that you don't have to play Gambit if you don't want to. But, however, if you want to complete your Pathfinder, yeah, you might have to go play some Gambit. Sorry, not sorry. Another thing I saw in a Reddit post was that the streak system still exists, so if you're playing strikes, I think the more strikes you play consistently, the more reputation you get, and the same thing goes for Crucible. So, you know, especially it's double Crucible rewards this week, so say you want to do a majority of Crucible this week, but again, your Pathfinder is like, we need you to play a couple games of Gambit, then you can't continue your streak. You have to, you know, get off Crucible, switch to Gambit, or even strikes, right? You know, I know some people don't like strikes, but I think the strike playlist is in a much better position than Gambit, even though, you know, that isn't necessarily the case. And, you know, we even have Onslaught in the Vanguard tab now, so, you know, that's another way to shake up things, and I'm kind of surprised they didn't include Onslaught in this Pathfinder tree as well, because people love Onslaught, and, you know, there's the 10-wave playlist version, there's the 50-wave harder version that you can do with friends, and so on. But hopefully this gets addressed in the future to where we can either just do strikes if we want, Crucible, Gambit, or maybe you can just, you know, I mean, there's literally 6 different trees that you can take and run with. So, you know, they can make 1 Gambit, 1 Crucible, 1 strikes, and then do like 2 of maybe another Onslaught one, and then maybe just like a patrol version, like you just go patrol whatever planet you want. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can make this tree more inviting for different people and different players, because not everyone wants to play every single game mode, and not everyone wants to stick to one game mode. Aside from this, though, everything that Bungie has added into the game in the final shape has been a phenomenal addition to the game. I just wanted to get it out there because I want to see this system improved, because, again, the Pale Heart version is the best because you don't have to switch off anything. You can stick to the Pale Heart. You can keep grinding it, whereas with this version of the Pathfinder, you really have to bounce around, and it's kind of annoying, and, you know, I don't like it. This is just my opinion. Maybe you guys have a differing opinion, but, you know, that's why I'm here, is to try and voice those different opinions and give them an audience. Just, you know, be respectful in the comments, leave a positive rating if you enjoyed the video. But as always, know your viewership, and you guys just being here is plenty for me, and I'll see you in the next one.